The director sent me a note saying I have to try appealing to younger audiences. Chicken Jockey! Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and that you are having a great day. And in today's video, we're going to sit back, relax, and talk about the new My Little Pony card game that was just announced today, probably yesterday for you guys. But yeah, just a few hours ago, Hasbro came out and put out a little press release revealing that they are putting out a new My Little Pony card game. They are doing this in partnership with Caillou, a company that I only know for producing Naruto cards that never arrived for me from Amazon, but I guess they do other things as well, and they are now partnering with Hasbro to release a new My Little Pony card game. And I say a new My Little Pony card game because there is an older one that went on for quite a while. I think it had like 10 set releases, and I think the last set for that game was actually in like 2019, unless I'm mistaken. It was a pretty it was okay. Got the starter decks for around here somewhere. I don't know where. But I digress. We have the news of a new card game coming very soon. In fact, it has a global launch coming on the 26th of April, which is just around the corner. And absolutely crazy, honestly, that they're going to put out an announcement for a card game so close to its preview events. And if you're curious where you can go to play a preview event, then don't worry. It has been announced as a global TCG, and you can attend pre-release events in such locations as Beijing, Shanghai, and Chengdu. Wait a second, something's not right here. That's right. Despite announcing it as a global launch for their card game, Hasbro and Caillou are currently only putting out pre-release demo sessions in China. I'm sure that at some point in the future, the card game is going to get a global release with cards available at your local game store. But it's just kind of weird to me that they're announcing this as a global release, and you can only get it in China. It's a global release that you can only get in China. That sentence is bad. Now, release sentence paradoxes aside, I do think that the My Little Pony card game is going to be something worth being a bit excited over. After all, My Little Pony is still a fairly popular IP, one of Hasbro's best IPs. I would even go as far as to say it's definitely doing better than like G.I. Joe or... what else does Hasbro have? Okay, so what I did was I went and looked at a list of IPs Hasbro either currently owns or has owned, just to see where My Little Pony was on the like rating scale in terms of how they were doing compared to other properties, etc. But I noticed that in like 2016, Hasbro actually released some Micronauts figures, and I got really excited over Micronauts for a bit, and I went to see what was going on there, and it turns out that we're actually getting some new Micronauts figures later this year, so I'm kind of excited about that. But I just went on like a 20-ish minute like tangent deep into a rabbit hole of micro minis, and I got completely distracted from the My Little Pony conversation. Anyway, back on track. I wasn't able to find specifically where My Little Pony ranked versus, say, D&D or G.I. Joe, but I do know that it is a popular franchise with a lot of fans who want to spend a lot of money on MLP merch, and a new card game might just be something that takes off rather well. It's not the first card game, obviously. The first one came and went, and it's also not the first Hasbro IP card game, because we've seen other failures beyond just the My Little Pony card game, which I suppose I should talk about at some point. But there was also the Transformers trading card game, which didn't last all that long, just 2 years. But regardless of talking about the IP itself, because I could spend time talking about My Little Pony and how it shifted from a 1980s cartoon to a 2000s very popular cartoon. It was very popular. I watched season 1 of My Little Pony. I think it was called Friendship is Magic. And I thought it was pretty good. I don't quite get how it became so insanely popular, but, you know, people like what they like, and the whole brony culture that popped up for a bit, that was a thing. But I digress. We didn't get to see any previews of the cards, or we didn't get to see previews of the cards, but they were all in Chinese, and your uncle can't read Chinese, so I can't possibly guess what the cards do or how they read or anything. But the art looks fine, so there's that. And I'm curious to see what news we get from the playtests previews coming later this month. I'm curious to see what the pricing is going to be, whether or not Hasbro. It's not a Wizards of the Coast card game. They're not doing it through Wizards. They're doing it raw. They're doing it raw with Caillou. Got to catch that in the future. Hasbro, I'm curious to see how they're going to price it. Is it going to come in booster boxes like the old normal booster boxes, or is it going to be priced more like a play booster box, a collector booster box? Who knows? I'm kind of curious to find out. I also want to know what its distribution is going to be like. I'm sure that, since it is through Hasbro, that it will be available at local game stores. But I'm not sure how well it'll be solicited. I don't have a lot of anecdotal stories to talk about in regards to the original My Little Pony card game, but I do remember that it was not very heavily advertised. At least not to the game stores themselves. It was more of a thing of, you know, the players and the collectors were interested in it, and game stores bought it as people requested it. I'm sure that wasn't how it was everywhere, but around here, at the very least, I wasn't aware of it until people asked me, hey, do you happen to have some sealed stuff for this lying around? And I was like, I wasn't even aware that that was a game. Then I played some, and I was like, this is okay. So, that's really all I've got to say. They have announced a new My Little Pony card game. That's a car out there. They've announced a new My Little Pony card game. They've announced it in the same month as the pre-release event, and they've announced it as a global release for a product you can only buy in like 3 provinces in China. So, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. I'm curious to see what the full release is going to look like, how the game plays, all that jazz, and I suppose I'll just have to wait until the end of the month to get that information. So that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, share with a friend, leave a comment, all that wonderful jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next one.